Welcome to Seven Figure Feminine Formula. I'm Sonali Singh, a feminine embodiment coach, a money and business coach, a trauma therapist, and I help women heal their traumas and embody their feminine so they can create their desired life and business reality and their relationships. Somehow, this entire year has been a lot about relationships in this space of my work. And most women at every age and time have come to manifest a relationship. And I also hosted two really long containers this year, which was Lover Program and um, a smaller container, Return to Love, which was again about manifesting relationships. The video is distorted. Okay. Is it due to the network thing?
Your voice is breaking, it's cracking, and it's coming in a lapse.
Um,
It's actually fine for me. So, Mehak, it could be on your end.
Video and
Okay.
audio
I
both is
can
fine
hear.
for you?
Yeah.
See, your video quality is fine for me, Manvi, but for Sonali, it's breaking.
Okay.
Okay. I think uh, as per Manvi, it might be on your end because uh, how is it for you, Payal?
It's good. Only thing I feel is the voice is little lowered.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So this year has been a lot about relationships. But what I've found this year was this feminine desire to have a connection, to have something meaningful, the feminine desire to be desired by your partner, to be desired by people you work with, to be desired by your Instagram audience, to be desired by your family members, to be desired by your clients who are going to pay you, and to be having that belief, that faith within you that you are ultimately desired with your offers, with your services. And I found that this has been a fundamental flaw. So if ask, between 1 to 10, how desired do you feel? Do you think that you are desired enough by your in your work? Let's start with work. Easier.
Hmm.
Hello, Krishna. Priyam says 8. Manvi says 4. 3. Yeah, 10 being the highest. We are having 7-figure feminine formula starting, and the question is, how desired do you feel? Six. 5. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes, Priya.
Hi, Sonali. So
Hello.
good to see you after such a long time. Sonali, I was really confused between saying 8 or even 10 because I run my private practice as a therapist.
Hmm.
Post-COVID, I feel like there has been such a surge in the mental health space and people looking for a space where they can fully express themselves or work through their traumas, whatever it might be. So it's not that there's ever like dearth of work. So in that way, I feel quite desired. But I feel like the streamlining of work, using technology to do work and really kind of creating a business where I can serve more people. That seems to be a place where I get a little stuck because as therapists, you're trained to work one-on-one, right? And you're trained in very traditional ways, but technology is changing the playing field so quickly that there is possibility to hold containers, have a bigger impact. So yeah, to answer your question, desired, I do feel streamlining of the work is something I think I can do, with support there. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me know. Um, the another question that arises from here is that how supported do you feel in your business? Do you think the technology supports you? Do you think you have people around you who supports your vision? Do you think your body supports you? Do you think your nervous system supports you? Do you think this emotional cycles that you go through with full moon and new moon, that supports you? How supported do you feel in your business? 2, 3, 5, 6. Yes. Okay. And now my final question. How desired you feel in this body? And how supported do you feel in this body? Do you think this body is working out for you in the world while you are creating your life and business? Do you feel that this body is desired enough by you and others?
क्या बोल रहा है?
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing and being so vulnerable in that space. I started my business journey long, long back. I think I started my business journey in 2017 itself. Or what do you call businesses when it comes to running business in the world? When you really bring out an idea and you want to create that in the world, and maybe you wanna generate a sustainable revenue from it. That's something that also supports you back financially, something that also supports you in your desires. So my desire was always to build a really $1 million business, like, multi-million dollar business. But when I started in 2017, I was in a social entrepreneurship space and I still wanted to build that multi-million dollar business, not to have that money for myself, but to have that vision getting actualized through me, because that gave me a lot of joy. So I was started Sunona in 2017, which is my foundation that I run, which is a safe space for people to come and talk to anybody. And we have a beautiful trained team of listeners who listen on the other end of it. So from the first day itself, I knew that I might not be making a lot of money through it. But I was well ready to put down my time, effort, energy into it long enough. Like it's been 7 years now. And still not receive the desired support, the desired money, the desired sustainability, the desired funds that Sununa could also make use of. I will also spotlight myself for some time so we can have recording like that. And you can put yourself in the gallery mode again. The ultimate belief within me for a very long time was that I'm not desired enough. That there is the fundamental flaw, I think, with every feminine out there is that the belief that people desire me. And it's okay to be feeling desired by the people. And there's nothing wrong and shameful about that. To believe that people desire to spend time with me and give me money for it. People desire transformation only through me and pay me for it. The fundamental belief that my body, my being, and my authentic self as who it is right now is desired enough to be paid for it. And I do not have to become anything when it comes to my body. I do not have to lose 10 kgs before I feel desired enough in a relationship. I do not have to lose this wilderness within me before I'm desired enough for a marriage. I do not have to lose this part of me that also wants to make an incredible impact and wild income in the world. Would have to lose either one of this. So I always think that if I can make an incredible impact, then I will not make enough money because I would have to either reinvest everything or, it should be going out in the world. It should not come to me because how bad would that be? Or I can make a lot of money, but not really go to these marginal communities in India and do the work for them. I might be working with the creamiest layer in India or abroad, working with really rich people who are paying me a lot of money, but I won't be able to work with people who really need it. So the desire lives in a very either or universe. It does not come to the idea that even if that I am who I am and my own desires are worthy enough for me to even take that step of creating a multi-million dollar business. So the first step, I think, before we even say that, how do I, feel, do I feel even desired enough for my own desires? The first step I would really like to highlight is that what is your wildest, loudest desire when it comes to your life, when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to your business? Knowing that there is no wrong desire, there is no too much desire, knowing that every desire of yours is desired by universe enough to support you with the tools, with the community, with the support, with the technology, with men, with people to come out there and hold space for you. So if you know that your desires are also desired and supported by universe, what would be that desire that you would really, really want to have? And maybe your wildest, loudest desire that you are so scared to say because that might feel too much. And I get least amount of responses whenever I ask this question again and again in different times. I've done a circle on desires, and it was so difficult to put down those desires because I know how scary it can feel. And the notions behind it, international fame. Thank you. And the notions behind it, that if you desire money, then you are not really a very authentic, genuine, kind person at heart. And if you are a kind person at heart, and if you desire connections, if you desire relationships, then you cannot think about money and businesses. Yes, Mehak.
Um, Okay, so for me, I started my business journey or my career journey way back in 2003. So it's been more than 2 decades since I've been in the world of teaching yoga, wellness, all of that, right? And like Priyam was sharing, year after year, because the world is changing, technology is changing, and there's, of course, a completely new upsurge of health and wellness. Um, there are times, one, when I feel completely outdated with my skills, because I'm like, I learned something way back in like 2002, 2003, and now it's become this like it's become one classical mold, which when I offer to people may seem very, very traditional as compared to the new age wellness techniques that are coming up, right? One is that. The second that I in the recent past I'm working with and realizing more and more is this duality of power and acceptance on one hand, where I'm seeking power and I'm seeking acceptance on one hand from people I'm working with. Um, and at the same point of time, I also want to empower them and offer them Shakti through my own Shakti. So I don't know if the words, it's kind of a word play in my head, right? Where there is power and there's Shakti, and right now they're looking like two different universes. But like how do I give you, how do I hand over power to you, or how do I give with power to empower you when I know that somewhere in that power there's a lot of ego play happening, like there is a lot of acceptance that I want, and I've handed that over to you as a student to accept me or to reject me. uh, I don't know if I'm able to put it across, but that's where I am.
Hmm. So I see again a either or universe where either I can be powerful or you can be powerful.
No, I'm okay with both of us being powerful, and I'm okay with both of us being also empowered, right? I'm
Yeah.
okay with the fact that when somebody is, let's say, complimenting me, I feel that empowered sense of self, and I know I'm also empowering you in the process. But what is more powerful in the process is this sense of the undercurrent of how do I become more powerful.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. Yes. Thank you for saying that. I think that's very interesting. Knowing that if I have my desires and if I acquire more power in this space, and if I'm thinking about myself, very basic, that if I'm thinking about myself in a relationship, in money, in business, then somewhere I'm not thinking about the collective. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And hence the guilt, because we women are, the first personality that we have, the very strong personality is about giving. So the giver personality that wants to keep giving but not receive, because there is guilt with receiving. Because we have been always trained. I've always seen my mother, and maybe most of you have seen that mother. And if you have seen your mother like that resonate, then please let me know. I'll read out these desires. Um, I've always seen my mother working hard, really giving, taking care of everybody in the family, hoping that taking care of everybody in the family will also make me feel very uh, loved, make me feel very um, cherished in this space, celebrated in this space, and I will also receive what I want to receive from here. But mostly I've seen her feeling annoyed, I've seen her feeling irritated, I've seen her feeling even more depleted and drained at the end of the day because the the mind kept telling that you have to constantly keep giving before you can receive. And most people believe that they must work really hard, do a lot of things, then they're finally worthy of asking something for themselves. Because asking something for themselves will somehow not be benefiting the collective. The truth is that when I really stand on my ground and I ask out loud, what do I need here? It really gives an opportunity for the entire system, the ancestors, the entire family that you are sitting in to move forward along with everybody around you who is connected with you to step up in their journey so they can enable themselves enough to be able to support you at that level. And that moves their systems forward. So when you raise your consciousness, when you come in power, when you create a bigger empire out there in the world, it benefits everybody who supports you into creating it and who supports you into expanding and scaling that empire with you. It will become a difficult journey because initially people feel extremely uncomfortable doing it. I am trying to. I will take your question, Anubhuti, at the end of this. I hope that works. In case my meeting get logged off, I have upgraded this also. Then please rejoin the same link. Yes. So the fundamental belief that even my success, even my expansion is desired enough by the universe that it will support me with right people, right places, right opportunities, and especially with people that I'm working with family members that I'm living with friends and family that I'm associated with, because I become the invitation to the higher consciousness, to the vibration, to the power, to the strength, to the courage, to also what's possible out there in the world, to them. Because the part of them that do not feel confident enough to say it out loud that, hey, I desire power. I desire so much power that it bursts out the world. They feel even more confident saying it out loud when they see you doing it, making it happen, when they see you saying it out loud without any shame and guilt attached. So it's totally betraying the personality that I have, which is the giver personality who cannot ask and receive. And hence it can feel, it's betraying my own identity altogether, betraying my own self, betraying that part of me which has defined that I can only give, but I cannot receive. Or I'll have to give enough to be able to finally feel that I'm worthy of receiving. The another personality that is attached here is the pleaser personality. The good girl who cannot say no. You want to keep the peace. You don't want to fire people. You want to keep people around you. But at what cost? You charge under for your services. You're overworking in the world, trying to prove that your ways, as Mehak said, that if I got it right, that you have traditional ways of working with yoga and everything, but now these newer things have come up in this space. That even if whatever is your way of creating, like my way of creating in the world is very feminine based. My entire journey is about that how can I become that soft feminine in my body, flow, and still make a very scalable business out there. And this entire year, I focused on regulating my nervous system. I focused on destroying beliefs that I had very strongly about businesses and feminine. I had strong beliefs about, I had huge sisterhood wound, I think, which most of us might have, where we didn't find enough support by women around. We didn't find enough connection with women. It was easier to connect with men or receive support from them. Even my mother always said that, if you need help, always go ask a boy in your class. Don't ask girls because they will not. And the boys will help. So I created this community in the Divine Feminine Embodiment, which is all women coming together, doing this work and supporting each other and bringing out the goddess, the divinity within each other. From competition, you move towards co-creation because competition again feels like a either or universe where either you can win or I can win. To creating a universe where you can win and I can win, and we both can win together. It's also in the field of coaches because a lot of coaches have joined this session today. In the field of coaching, I see coaches feeling extremely insecure about their clients, where you want to capture them, where you want to be obsessed about them. You don't want other people to know about them because you don't want your client to go away. So you want to make close proximity. You want to go there in all the platforms. You want to be in touch with them on a one-on-one basis. It might happen from a nurturing energy also, but in the cases, because there is no sense of a universe where I am being that space which trust enough that my clients can choose what's best for them. I don't have to hold on them. And they going out in the world and learning from other people, which will actually create more because wherever they go, they talk about me. Because I am desired enough by them. They talk about me and more people come to my vicinity. For a long time, the good girl syndrome also has worked for me in a way where I did not want to say no to people that I was working with, I was working for, before I could start my own business. Because I was so attached with being the good girl and being the contributor in that particular space. And creating my own business felt like a rebel move that I did not want to make because I did not want to lose those friendships. But at what cost? The cost of suppressing my own gifts, my own abilities, my own needs, and my own desires out there in the world. For a long time, I did not enough said it out loud that, hey, I really want to become a highest level coach in the world. The third role in personality that we play with is the role of the seeker of unavailable love. A very common question that Mehek also asked and Priyam also asked was about support from the system, the current technology and the scaling. And I'll come to that as soon as I complete these 4 roles that I want to talk about. Because I think that will also set the context. The seeker of unavailable love. Somewhere, the desire is to chase these unavailable, emotionally unavailable, physically unavailable, financially unavailable people, romantic interest, father, because it also stems for the connection that we have with our own fathers, where our fathers might be emotionally unavailable when we were a child. And that can mirror into this endless frustration and disappointment in your business, in your relationships, because you find these unavailable, not committed clients and people in your journeys. And the fourth one is the guilty one. I think we also touched it when I was talking. The guilty one is the good girl with the guilt. Basically, the belief that we have absorbed as a woman ever since we were a child, I believe that wanting more is selfish. You feel guilty for dreaming big, which leads to a struggle between your desires and the expectations that people have from you. And where all these rules, and there are more rules like that, but I want to touch these four only. And where all these rules come from is from very real life experiences that you have had, either when you were a child or as an adult, or even before when you were a womb. The fundamental flaw that I'm not desired comes from the womb itself, because when you were in the womb, a lot of women, by your grandmothers, by your grandfathers, by your parents, by somebody else, you already felt in the womb that you are not desired as a woman in the womb. You're desired as a son. And it happens very, unconsciously also. I see my mother-in-law. It's been some time with my marriage, and I see my mother-in-law blessing me over and over again with Putravati Bhav, Putravati Bhav, Putra. And I was like, and the Putra really means the Putra. Like, I'm sure they'll be okay with whatever happens or if happens. Um, but this very strong, solid belief that, especially in the generations that we belong to and other, some 5 to 10 generations before also, that they really wanted a son as a first child, as a second child, as a third child. But you were a girl, and hence that moment only you decided that you are not desired enough, that people don't want you enough. It can come as if for me, it came as the elder daughter syndrome, where I likely felt the responsible one, that I have to be responsible for everything in my business, for everything in my life. I was giving and giving, and I felt resentful when my needs were not getting met, when I was not, specifically with Sununa, I was giving, and I was literally standing on streets under the sun. I was taking listening sessions for people. I was going to cafes every week. I was giving so much that at the end of the year, I felt so drained because I did not charge a penny for my sessions. But I felt extremely responsible for what was happening to Sununa, for what was happening to me, for what was happening to my clients. Extremely responsible. I think I still do. The unavailable clients and partners can show up because some of the parents were unavailable physically or emotionally towards you. Either uh, they were working, either they had to ignore you, or you got a second kid sibling and you felt that you were actually cornered because of it. The third scenario could be that you had betrayal wounds, where you actually went through heartbreaks in relationships, in business, and that led to dealing trust issues with people. So there are now strong walls that you have built that you might call as boundaries, but these are actually huge walls that you have built and not letting people in, because and I did that too with a lot of men, because my work is focused a lot around sexuality. Every time a man messaged me, I was like, this guy doesn't want to work there here for just time pass, which was not true most of the times. I've never found every man ever dishonoring me, ever disrespecting me, very curious, very genuine men coming to me to learn tantra, to learn sexuality, to learn how can they be in their divine masculine. But I, for a long time, did not encourage them, did not talk to them, did not even have a consult call with them because the underlying, you know, the trust was really shattered over there. And the conditioning and the societal expectation that we have with it. This, and will now come to reading the desires because I was really excited about that before we move further on the formula. International fame, world travel, exploring different cultures. Wow. Yes, I desire depth, not superficial conversations, but really intimateness. A community to play with and sing and dance and do theater with. Lots of nature and fresh food and water. I desire to be in touch with Eros more. Wow. Everything that you said is what we do in divine feminine embodiment. And that's my desire too. And hence, we are building that world in the divine feminine embodiment program, where a lot of it is about Eros. A lot of it is about community, where we sing, where we dance, where we play week by week. And a lot of it is about desirability, the desirability of me, the desirability of other people, the divinity. So you have put the right words to it. I'm so grateful to that. I desire to play my fullest potential in the any form in any way, from being a dancer to skater to artist to exploring all my colors. Thank you for saying that. Guilt in receiving and even asking for anything. Yes, I have seen my mother be that. I've also seen my mother do that. And since years, and sometimes I do that too. The way we get perceived under a negative spotlight. Oh, yes. The desire to not be defamed. Because for a long time, we had to really, sorry, we had to really become that, we had to really become that, bearer of family's honor and respect. Like we were the torchbearers of it. Because the entire honoring and respect of the family lied in our vaginas and our pussies. So we held it so close and so tight, and we really made ourselves so small so that we are not seen enough. I'm talking about specifically the days of your teens. And I did that a lot, where because I was getting a lot of attention from guys, and a lot of attention meant you getting defamed in the process. Um, I tried myself becoming, I have shared it on Instagram, and some of you might know that once a teacher called me. I was studying in an RSS school. It was extremely disciplined school. And a teacher called me. I was in seventh, eighth class. That, there's something wrong about you walk, the way you talk, the way you move. It feels like that you are asking for guys' attention. And I, I had no idea why she said what she said. Um, I wasn't even in touch of any of the guys in the class because that was not the atmosphere in an RSS school that time. But I started noticing my every move, my walk, my talk in a way that I became so small and so hidden and so masculine that I do not gather any attention and should not, must not feel desirable because feeling itself was very shameful. And I became tomboyish for most of my life. Most of my life. Where I was always dressing as men. I was comfortable with men, but more like a bro thing. I wasn't very comfortable with women. I've actually judged women who were very feminine in their ways. Um, I judged women who were very sexual in their sexuality, who were these boobs and they were running and they were hanging, and I judged every bit of it. Because all of that triggered the shame that I had about me, triggered the shame that I had about being called a slut, had about being called somebody who's doing things to get attention from guys. So now this is very protecting defensive mechanism that I also built to make sure that I don't do anything that can raise a question mark on my character, that can raise a question mark on my work in the world. That, hey, she runs a foundation, at the same time she's also creating 7 figures in a year, and she's also fundraising for a foundation, as if I am solely responsible for the work that my foundation does. And not each one of us sitting here is responsible for doing something about mental health of the marginal communities in India. So no matter what you do, you will always, always be perceived in a negative spotlight. There will be a section of people that will not get you, that will judge you. And I wouldn't judge them because, how many times we also judge our own past selves, thinking that, hey, you really like that guy? You really did that? You really put that comment? You were so jealous, you were so insecure. I believe we all were so jealous and insecure of women chasing their dreams, making huge money, when we wanted to do it, when we wanted to have it, and we did not know how to. Jealous of women having these handsome men as their boyfriends, traveling and doing these amazing things when we really wanted to date these guys. How many times we were also judging people like that. So I believe it's fair for people to judge because they're also in their journeys. So true. I was doing that yesterday. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. But, this feminine wound, which is very much immersed in guilt and shame, which is very much about not really being your feminine self out there, because somewhere it is already considered uh, not enough, not worthy, selfish, shameful, slut. The feminine would, which also feels that either she's the responsible one for everything or she's a bitch. Either she's a giver or she's a kind person. The feminine one where you can have either or. Whosoever has not muted themselves, please mute. Divine Spirit. The Divine Spirit has entered the portal. Thank you. That all leads for you to have a chronic self-doubt and playing small, which can hold you back from confidently putting yourself out there and stepping into your power. That all leads to overgiving and under child charging. You put everything out there in your work, but when it comes to asking for something in return, you feel that you cannot. Like you must get some other new certificate or you must know something new. Then only you'll be able to get it. And even if after that you don't feel enough. That leads to fear of visibility, where the thought of being seen in your power makes you want to hide. That fear stems from past shame. But now is a time when you can reclaim your presence, your power, and your voice in the world. And we'll be doing a small visualization of 5 senses meditation to help you Experience that reality for yourself, experience that power for yourself. And that leads to this feminine wound into building these trust issues and boundaries, where I want to choose that only these kind of people must enter my business. Only these kind of people must work with me. And I create so many barriers to deciding that who should be my audience, where it is not up to me. My job is to give out in the world, and whosoever receives, receives. I would like you to now close your eyes. If you're here in this space, please come on the camera if you can. Take a deep breath in the body. Exhale out from the mouth. And I want you to give yourself an opportunity to come to the body. Breathe into the parts of your body where you have not breathed before. So breathe into your hands, your waist, your belly, under your knees. Breathe into those parts. And now touch the part of your body that is asking for attention right now. The part of your body that might feel not so desired, and hence that needs more love and touch and attention. Maybe your belly, maybe your stomach, maybe your thighs, maybe your pussy. Touch your pussy. Breathe into that. Breathe into your pussies and let it expand. Fill it with air and exhale out from the mouth open. And now ask your pussy, ask your bodies that what do you truly desire? How much money you want to make? Where do you want to live? How do you want to feel?
Kare?
And now, when you find that desire within you, that hey, I want to have, like, I really want to have more money that I know what I want to do with. I want to have so much money. And you don't really have to think about it. Maybe I want to do something which can be creative, artistic, and something that go and touches like millions of people, hundreds of people, thousands of people. And they feel that you know this just wow. They want to feel wow about what you have created, and they want to have more of it. Where do you want to live? Maybe on a beach house, on a mountain. And most importantly, how you wanna feel in your body. Maybe you wanna feel flowy, maybe you wanna feel fluid, maybe you wanna dance, move, play. You wanna feel more relaxed in your nervous system. You wanna feel that calm breath. You wanna feel the breeze of fresh air on your face. Or maybe you wanna feel that wild, erotic part of you coming out, twerking in a big house, becoming this entire wild self of yours, swimming naked in your swimming pool in an ocean. You wanna experience that. Whatever that reality is, whatever your desire is, I want you to step into that desire now as I count from 5 to 0. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now that you are here in this desired reality of yours, notice what you see around. Notice what you hear. Maybe you hear a jazz music, hear sound of kids, maybe you hear sound of your partner, sound of waves. What do you hear? Notice what do you touch? Maybe touch of the air, of your clothes, of a hand. This is your desired reality, the life and business that you want to create. Notice what do you smell? Maybe smell of soil, maybe smell of lavender, fresh grass. Notice how do you feel in your desired reality. And take a breath in the body and let yourself know that this is something. What you see, what you notice, what you hear, what you feel, what you touch. Just because you can see it, you're worthy of having this for yourself. You can have it too. It's yours. And while you see it and notices, you might already start sensing a resistance in your body. The resistance could be in your neck, in your hands, in your belly, in your legs. Maybe you're feeling very anxious just being here. It could be a lot of heaviness on the face. in the heart. Scan your body and notice the resistance. And if this resistance, where in this body this resistance shows up, go to that part of your body. And if this resistance has a color, then what color would that be? Maybe black, maybe green. If this resistance has a shape, then what shape would that be? Maybe smoky, maybe triangle, maybe circle. If this resistance has a feeling, then what feeling is that? Is it suffocation? Is it irritation? Is it anger? Is it grief? And if this resistance has a voice, then what voice would that be? What is the thought? What is the voice? How is this anger speaking? And if that anger, if that resistance is wanting to move, then how would you move? If, not to get rid of it, but to express it, to embody it. Maybe just 1% right now. If that feels overwhelming, then only go to just 1%, 2%, 5%, 10% into it. For now, because we are in a very small container, it is we will not be able to go fully deep into it. I invite you to using touch as a resource, really give your love, attention, nurturing, massage that part of your body, caress that part of your body. Let it know that I see you, I love you, I see you, this part of you. I'm here with you. This child asking for attention, you just give your love and care towards it. Imagining the Divine Mother holding you in her arms, and through your hands, she herself coming and caressing and nurturing, giving, offering love to this part of you. Maybe caressing your forehead, caressing your womb, caressing your hands, giving you a hug, whatever you need right now. Let yourself fully experience the warmth. Feel yourself being nourished. Imagine this self-nourishment ritual as a practice you can return to each day to remind yourself that you deserve to feel loved and your desires are worthy and loved and nourished too. When you feel complete, bow down to the Divine Mother. Place one hand on your heart, one on the belly. Take a deep breath. Breathe into the pussy. Breathe into the womb. Breathe into the heart. From the pussy to the womb to the heart, out from the mouth. Letting go of anything else that wants to flow out through you. Beautiful. When you feel complete, I count from 0 to 5 and you come back to the present moment. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wide awake into the present. In this modern world, our lives are so busy that we are feeling more depleted, more burnt out, more unfulfilled, and disembodied. We are stuck in our heads. We're operating from masculine energy. That makes us feel lost in the cycles of endless doing, endless making things happen, endless hustling, pushing forward, overgiving, pleasing others. Because there is no connection with my own body and my own sensuality and my own feminine self. But when you experience this deep connection with your feminine, this desired reality that you want to create, and maybe much more than this, because right now the nervous system is also not expanded enough to have your truest reality come to you. You're only receiving right now what your nervous system feels comfortable, safe receiving. You're only receiving enough support from people that you feel safe with as feminine. People ask me these questions, Mehak and Priyam, that, hey, I know I'm so good at what I do, but I do not have enough support to work in my business, in my life, in a way where I feel that I can now create something, huge from here. When you are so grounded and you're feminine, you also learn to be softened and be surrendering because, hey, I feel so safe in my nervous system. I feel so safe playing out there. I feel so safe be- being this feminine that I can open my hands, really spread my hands. And please do it, spread your hands and take and receive and ask that, hey, I need help with technology. Who can help? Hey, I need help with taking care of my kids while I want to create this. Who can help? Hey, I need this business acumen. Who is here to support? And your old ancestors, I did this beautiful ritual with one of my clients where she had so much money from her grandfather, but she was rejecting it huge because she wanted to make something of her own. So she's like, how can I use his money? How can you really spread your hands and ask your ancestors to support you? And that is very feminine. The feminine way of running business is not doing things on your own, by your own, doing the hard work. Don't do the hard work. Don't. Because when you're working hard, you're actually avoiding something huge. You're avoiding the basic connection with your body. You're avoiding the shame, the guilt, the trap, the feminine wound that you're sitting on. And trust me, you don't really require 100 people to make your 100 crores or 1 crore, whatever. I think I worked with not many people this year. I intentionally worked with a very lean model. On a one-on-one basis, I might have worked on one-on-one basis or in a smaller containers. I might have worked with 20 to 50 people, 20 people maybe max, like on a good capacity in the entire year. And I still am making the first 1 crore. I actually put down the figures for you also, and I'll share with you my formula. But when you're feeling exhausted, dysregulated, overwhelmed, undernourished, deprived of what you truly desire, the touch, the feeling, the connection, the love, the nourishment, the feminine flow, the eros within me, the wilderness within me, the seductress within me. The seductress plays huge role for you in your life and business, because when you know you can seduce the possibilities in your world, and you know that you are magnetic enough that you don't have to chase people, clients, money, business, partners, you can simply be your authentic self and attract it. When you know that you are this Mohini who can receive things just because she desires them with a lot of support, with where people really want to come towards you and you don't have to chase them. But when a woman is disconnected from her body, she's disconnected from the fullness of her feminine, fullness of who she is, fullness of the aliveness, the nourishment, the pleasure, the radiance, the magnetism that you can be. And hence, in Divine Feminine Embodiment, I have included all the goddess archetypes, because we are stuck in becoming just one. Either I've become such a huge Kali in my world that I'm cutting, throating everyone, and there is no space for me to relax and receive. Or I'm softening and relaxing and receiving, but I cannot set boundaries. I'm not fully in my power because I'm rejecting the Kali within me. Or I can become a Kali, I can become a Radha, but I'm rejecting the Mohini because that comes with a lot of shame. The shame to seduce, the shame that you're asking for attention, the shame of asking for attention on Instagram, on your group, with your clients, with your work, with your partners, with your family members. I've included Saraswati because the truth, the knowledge that what you already have, not from this lifetime, but from millions of lifetimes, that sitting within you is not finding an expression out there because that's blocked. The fullness of divine feminine comes when you embody each one of these archetypes, when you fully open your pussy, your sacral, your heart, your throat, fully in an embodied manner, where you move from week to week, month to month, years to years in a very feminine, fluid, flowy way, and not try to do things from a masculine, structured, technical perspectives. We might think to build a scalable business, we have to really become masculine, no technology, no tools, no right things. I did not do any single ad funnel. I think even the, website and the mails that you might have received after registration, everything happened in last 3 months or 6 months mostly. And I am a software developer. I worked in IT for 8+ years. Even then, I could have done it much before, but I did not need to. So especially if you are in the journey of making your first 1 crore, then you don't need any tool technology. You're not dependent on it. You can definitely make use of it, but you're not dependent on it. Just being the feminine, fluid, flowy person who can nurture her audience, who can nurture herself, who can come in her wildest ways on out there, who is very connected with her sacred, you know, because your power lies in your womb, in your sacred. You create things out there in the world, you manifest through your sacred. So is very connected to her sacred and who's very open in her heart to receive, who can spread hands and ask and receive. Hey, can you please give me? I really would like to have it. Can really make anything manifest, whatever she wants. Because a woman's power, wisdom, magnetism, aliveness, feminine energy is found in her body. What we truly desire to feel as a woman, you will not find in doing and achieving more, but you will truly find in returning to yourself, your body, your felt sense experience of life, the abundance of Shakti within you. And when you tap into that abundance of Shakti, you create as this creative force in the world and attract the clients who love you for you, who are willing to pay you as much as you want. My clients, I know that they're always waiting for the next offer and they're ready to pay, even if that offer has not birthed yet in my mind, in my reality also. But they're still sold out on it. They're waiting for, like, hey, which is your next offer? I want to join. And sometimes they're only pushing ideas in my world and I'm creating out of it because I don't have to. So it is time for you to return to this divine feminine and create a new life which is very aligned to your nervous system, aligned to your feminine body, and really bring that desirability within you, which can feel desired in our body, in our living, in our relationships. And I'm going to show you, guide you in that journey in divine feminine embodiment while we are embodying these different archetypes. Really, really becoming that. It is not going to be theoretical. It is not going to be just me telling you things and tools. It's going to be a living, felt experience for you while you be in that container. And I'm going to be sharing few stories where one of the clients, and like many of the clients, but just starting with the one of the clients who came as a very dysregulated nervous system, felt numb or overwhelmed mostly, was extremely tomboyish for most of their life. There was not so much safety with men, disconnection with women that they have experienced. They were betrayal in relationships. Um, they were attracting unavailable or inauthentic men in their life. They felt drained or tired mostly because nothing felt aligned to my body and my being. It felt like I'll have to work hard and hustle, and I already feel so burnt out in the process. They felt also disconnected with other women in this space. But when they joined DFE, Divine Feminine Embodiment, and we worked into tapping into different archetypes, building safety in the body, building connection in the body, building that wilderness, erotic, sexual energy, um, bringing it up in the body, moving it in the body, playing with it, flowing with it, creating with it, activating the sacral, activating the yoni. We healed generational wounds. We did a lot of ancestral healing. Um, and this sisterhood community where you are not alone in that journey, where you are constantly growing together, nurturing each other, telling you how, in many ways, I see the goddess and the divine within you. They turned into becoming more feminine, more soft, feeling more sexy. One of the participants told me recently that, hey, for the first time I went and I bought 4 dresses for myself. I used to always dress as, shirts and pants and jeans. For the first time I bought 4 dresses and I felt beautiful in each one of them. And even if when I'm, in any whatever I'm dressing, I see a mirror and I feel so beautiful. And hence I feel desired by my own self when I look myself in the mirror. I feel more creative because there is so much joy, there's so much aliveness. That's what we work on. We alive and activate every cell of your body with this orgasmic energy. You feel more intuitive and more connected with your creativity. You feel happy, magnetic. You might start attracting men if you are looking for it. You feel more centered and calm in your nervous system and more expanded because now there is more safety with receiving more. Because feminine is all about receiving. You receive through your yoni, you receive through your mouth. You receive as feminine in the world. So, feminine view of creating business is not about hustling, working out, putting right systems, putting right scalable modules in the picture. The feminine view of receiving and making business is finding the most aligned, easy, tuned in ways of creating in the world. Finding what is how do I expand my receiving in this body? How do I work through my sexual energy out there? How do I attract the most aligned clients? And I don't believe in aligned clients anymore. I believe in that every client that enter into my vicinity already gets activated with this feminine magnetism, with the commitment to work on it, with the commitment to healing this generational shame and guilt, with commitment to completely accepting and flowing with their divinities. So you don't have to you don't even wait for those people to arrive. You actually activate that. When you become, let me tell you, when you become your feminine, you find the most contributing men out there coming and supporting you in your business. I um I hired a CFO and he's a man and he supports me like anything. I hired a backend person and very recently, I'm still in the process of hiring him. Um, and he's also a man and he's contributing and supporting me in my journey. Um, I have one female person who is making my creatives, who is working with me on social media. Um, But even for my investment, even for Sonona, most of the men have come forward and helped me and supported me like anything. And this is the first year when I actually have received a lot of support from women also. When I'm being invited for different, retreats or different programs that I am co-creating with them. So you actually start receiving more in the most unexpected, magical ways. When you connect with your body, when you embrace your feminine flow, when you cultivate this deep nourishment within you, week by week, month by month, year by year. It will happen in one go, but you will lose it because we live in a masculine world that asks and expects us to do things in a different way. And I've worked in an IT industry, worked as single women in like a team of 20, 10, 20, 40 men. So I know, I have felt it, I've been there. And your sensuality plays a huge, huge role in it. I'll take every question in just uh, 5 minutes. I want to share my own journey and how and you know my business turned out. So I'm going to be because it's the month of November. I'll be sharing from last October to this October. From last October, I launched a class, Orgasmic Awakening. The wilder class, like how, where the hell in the world would you see an orgasmic awakening class? It came completely out of my sacred. Actually, before this, I launched a smaller class also, receiving from men. And I was slut shamed for it. That how can somebody create a class on receiving from men? That class I created only for, I think, 5,000 rupees. There were 6 people into it. I made my 30K in that. In the same month, I launched Orgasmic Awakening Container, which was of 45,000 rupees per participant. There was again 5 people into it. Out of those 6 people, 5 people joined my Orgasmic Awakening Container. So that's what happens when you are desired in the world. I made 2.25 lakh rupees out of it. From there, I launched a 3-month container in the month of November. I made zero money out of it. It was a container for 50,000 only. In the month of December end, I launched a container for 6 months for 5 lakh rupees. I made 10 lakh rupees, but it kind of overlapped between December and January. I made first 5 lakhs in the December and then for first another 5 lakh from the January. In the January. And then I made 9 lakh in February. I launched the program Lover. Then I made another, I did not make any money in the month of March. Then I made, in April, I made some 16 lakh rupees. Then in the month of May, again in April, I launched a container for 6 months. Then in May, I made some 5 lakh only from the same container that I launched in April. Then June, July, I made zero money. In the month of August, I made 13.5 lakh rupees. Yes. In the month of September, I made 20 lakh rupees. In the month of October, I made only 8.5 lakh rupees. 6 plus 2.5. In the month of November and December, I would easily make 40 lakh minimum. So what I'm trying to say is that there were months when I've made like straight 15 lakh and next 2 months I made zero money. And there were months when I would made only, just 15,000 rupees. Like I generally counted as zero money, but I made like 15,000 rupees. I launched a small container. I made, in my first month, I made some 2.25 plus 30, 2.7 lakh, 5 lakh rupees. And I did zero ad marketing. I did zero pushy selling. If you see my Instagram or if you see my WhatsApp group, you would not find me putting anybody into fear, putting anybody into selling, giving a lot of discounts. I wouldn't be doing it. I did not feel that was honoring to my body then. It was a very lean approach the way I worked this entire year because that was aligned with my nervous system. My nervous system was also calibrating and to this expanded amount of money and business that I was that I was committed to creating in a year. Now I feel it is now expanded enough to have more numbers. Like, from 20, I can move to 200. I don't um, need to move to 2000. I can move to 2000 next year also. So there's a lot of space and rest that I'm also giving myself. My previous version would be that how do I reach 1 lakh people this year? How do I reach 10 lakh people this year? But I've also found for my body that it really likes to work in depth with people. It really likes to see these transformations happening. It really likes to I really enjoyed creating Divine Feminine Embodiment this year because there was so much depth and expansiveness that I experienced in that container that I had not experienced in any container that I was part of or I was facilitating before. It's a very high vibrational container. It was my dream coming true. So this work happening is my dream coming true, and the money is a byproduct of the value that I'm creating out there. And because I'm creating from a very aligned feminine self, this does not come as a drained energy. This does not come as something that feels restrictive, something that feels stiff in my body, something that feels masculine. It feels as a very much like a flow, like breath, like money coming in, going out, then money coming in, then going out, then something else happening and but a lot of money stayed with me also this year. A lot of money came from unexpected sources that it shouldn't have come, but it still had come. I quit my job in February, but I was in my sabbatical for a few months. I shouldn't have been paid for it, but I was still getting paid for it. Um, I yeah, I received the most amount of gifts this year by my husband, by people, by my in-laws. Um, And I think I also did I was traveling. And in February, I was traveling to Goa for 15 days. I was doing a Tantra training there. Then in March, I was not, I don't remember, but in April, I was traveling to Lonavala. I went to my hometown. I was in a 7-day naturopathy retreat. Then in May, I was traveling to Delhi. I was in a business conference there. In June, I went to Guwahati. I wanted to launch Divine Feminine Embodiment container, but before that, I really wanted to take the blessing and the permission of Ma Kamakhya. So I went there and then I launched it. In July, I went to Europe for a 15-day trip. So from 10th of July to actually not 15-day, 13 July to 30th of July. In August, I changed my house. I brought a new member, Shih Tzu, in my family. And I also traveled to Chikmagalur, like something closer only. Then September, I was traveling to, again, Kodaikanal. I traveled to two places, two small trips. In November, in October, I came here in my hometown and I also went Delhi for a week. In November, I'm traveling every week. This week, I'm traveling to Ayodhya, maybe with my parents. Next week, I'm traveling to my relatives. After next week, I'm traveling to another marriage in Gorakhpur. Then the same week, I have another marriage. Then I'll be traveling in the end of the month week again to Goa and then to Zim Corbett. And then from 10th, I'll be going to Bangalore. 12th, I'll come back to Delhi. From 12th, 13th to 20th, I'll be in Delhi. 20th, I'll come back. 21st to 24th, I'll be hosting a training. And then for a closed space. And then, yeah, that's it. So what I wanted to tell you that through this traveling, my business didn't hamper. My business was there. So I was working in a very aligned way where I created this lean model, I created this business, I created very in-depth work in a way that serves my traveling, that serves my schedule, that serves me to the best, because then I come out as my fullest, nourished, aligned, regulated, wild self out there, because I know I'm safe in my wilderness. My traveling is my wilderness. I travel for for stupidest reasons and for the most wildest things. So I know I'm safe in it and I'm going to be creating more money with it, because that's how I create more money. So that's the magic of being feminine. That's the magic of being um, you in the world when you don't. Not very people could stay. I'm sorry, um, I got such big message. Okay, Soumya, is it here? Okay. My story is entirely different. I was always a Kali as well as Lakshmi, a powerful force in Greece, both which somehow made my mother so jealous and abusive towards me, and my father was very distant and ignoring. Because they used to think that I'm powerful and strong enough to handle everything all alone. Also, I'll remain an artist, a dancer, and a painter. And I'm a professional artist. I did some real rebel things, joined him for industry, but I was really craving for true relationship, friendship, and true feminine community. I was brutally bullied and abused for being so feminine in my family as well in society, but I'm not healed myself, but lived a life which was completely epic. Today, if I die, I wouldn't have regret, because I truly lived life to the depth and vastness. But now I crave for a lot of grace, rest, and feminine ways of earning good money, because I deserve it. And so does my work and wisdom. I'm looking for community where I can be a woman and truly am strong and powerful yet graceful woman, where I can earn better and remain myself and letting others be themselves too. Thank you. I would really recommend, trust me, Samya, you must join Divine Feminine Embodiment, because that's the exact kind of community that um, you would need, that you would contribute, that would help you, and shining in your feminine, celebrating in your feminine, worshipping in your feminine. And that would help you showing out with it in your work, in your relationships. Because we truly deserve to be celebrated and worshipped in our feminine. Sure, I'll be giving the recordings for everybody who has asked. So the sense is that the feminine way of creating business is flowing over hustling, is building strong boundaries but not walls, is in playing, then deciding, planning, and creating, is in truly being in touch with your sensuality and sexuality, because that's where the magic lies, is knowing your worth and knowing that you are desired enough to be paid for it. And opening space and spreading your hands and receiving from support from people, and really committing to creating your reality. The commitment really plays a huge role, because even if we talk so much about feminine, the feminine will be able to shine when you have a masculine support within you, the grounding within you. Masculine would have to hold space with aligned actions, with committed actions, with strength, with courage. So that's important. You cannot ask the feminine to be feminine without providing the support of commitment, courage, and strength to it. So take the aligned action. Choose what works for you. Choose that great, that decision. Make that decision that needs your attention. So that's it on my end. If anybody has any question, I'm opening the space. I went way ahead time. I think I'll do another one. I minimizing this, but it was beautiful connecting with you all, and so much for sharing. Thank you so much. Yes, do we have any questions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have any questions, you can also put it on the group. I'll respond to each one of them. And I'll see you
I
again.
don't have any question, but I have a sharing for
Yes.
everybody who is present and listening. Uh, I joined one of the programs which Shonali does, and let me tell you, before that, money used to make me feel very contractive. Every time I would think of more money or a big amount of money, I would feel contracted. And now, after that program, a lot changed in me because the way she trains, the activities she does in the program are way different than what we get outside. So, if you want to work on your relationships, if you want to work on your money reality, if you
Thank you so much. I feel like how you have been such a blessing, Malini, and I'm so grateful to hear this. And truly, I guess we think that money is masculine, business is masculine, but it's very feminine. And the feminine really receives money and business in ways that is aligned, in ways that it contributes and nourishes our soul. And all we did, I think, is nourishing our soul enough and taking aligned choices that made all the difference. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I'm closing this container now. Thank you for being here. I'll see you soon. If you need any questions, if you need any information, please ping me. I'll share with you all the information around divine feminine embodiment.